what I want to do here is just offer a few pieces of advice on things that we can do as part of the larger evangelical community to help continue the momentum, to help foster and nurture the trend that we've been observing. And the first thing that I think we need to do is we must not only be as we are, but behave like part of the evangelical family. This means, I think, that we need to move away from anticreedalism. I'm not saying we need to embrace 18,000-word documents like the Westminster Confession or London Baptist, but the ecumenical creeds, the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed, the Chalcedonian definition, these are not lengthy documents. And they're something that everybody here, I think, believes anyway. So why not just, we are part of the evangelical family. We affirm these creeds every bit as much as the rest of you evangelicals. But it also means not just affirming the essentials of the faith, but it also means treating them as the essentials of the faith that they are, more so than this topic. So one of the reasons, for example, that I think that I have been able to make inroads in places within the broader evangelical movement that maybe some other conditionalists have not, is because I'm not only known for promoting conditionalism. It might be what I'm most known for, but I've been on the Unbelievable radio show to debate a premillennialist friend of mine. I was representing amillennialism. Obviously, that's not an essential, but I've been on that same show defending Calvinism against a former friend of mine who is a provisionist by the name of Leighton Flowers. We're also not an essential, but the point is I'm talking about other views than just this one. I had a public debate and then a written version, expanded version of it, with a Unitarian philosopher by the name of Dale Tuggy. So traditionalists out in the broader evangelical world see in me not just somebody who's defending conditionalism, but somebody who's standing up for the Trinity and for the deity of Christ. If we don't do that, if we don't show the larger evangelical world that we care at least as much, if not more so, about the essentials than we do our non-essential view, if we don't do that, they're going to be far less likely to take seriously what we have to say. It also, though, means not just defending the essentials as much as we talk about the non-essential that is conditional immortality, but it also means treating the non-essential like the non-essential that it is. And what does that mean? It means we have to lovingly fellowship with and embrace and minister alongside of people who disagree. I understand the impetus of people who are conditionalists who are in churches and are hearing their pastors say from the pulpit claims in defense of eternal torment and feel uncomfortable, and so wonder if perhaps they should leave that church and go find a church that teaches conditionalism. I get that impetus. But what does that say to the traditionalists in those communities? It says we're divisive. It says we're dividing. We're going to leave this church just because they teach a view on a non-essential that we dispute. That is exactly the opposite of what we should be doing. I encourage conditionalists, if you're at a church where you're welcomed as a member, but your pastor is teaching eternal torment from the pulpit, for crying out loud, stay there. Because there you can make a difference. Not only in showing that you care more about the essentials of the faith and the love of the brethren than you do this view, but also because it shows that you're not treating this as a matter of division. And isn't that what we're calling for in the first place? So we need to not only defend the essentials of the faith as much as or more than our defenses of non-essentials, but we also need to treat those who hold to other views on this non-essential as brothers and sisters in Christ.